All right. And we are going here. Let me just check some audio here. You get confirmation on the other end if we're live. You want to check the channel, Matt?
He's checking.
We are waiting on confirmation here. If you're joining us, welcome. And we will be starting with Mega Man X. Big shout out to, let me get that name ready for you.
Hey, you're live.
Hey guys, so welcome back to Nostalgia Land. This is the first episode of our Back to the Playroom series, and today we're starting with one of my favorites on the SNES, and that would be Mega Man X. Big shout out to City Mike 83 on Instagram. This was your suggestion. And today we're just kind of going to be playing through. I'll try to show you guys some some different kind of things about Mega Man X. One of the kind of doing what N64 does best, taking something that was super successful on the NES, like a side-scrolling kind of shoot 'em up, beat 'em up style of game, and just kind of running with it. So you'll see here. Give me 2 seconds here, guys. Sorry about that. All right. Now that I'm kind of ready to rock here, I was just making sure I wasn't too loud there. And we'll get going here so you can see the first level of Mega Man X, kind of like a tutorial, right? Kind of figure out the basics, and then I'm sure some of you in the gaming space have heard of Ego Raptor or Aaron from Game Grumps fame. He does a great, hilarious video if you want to look it up. Where he talks about just how this game doesn't kind of hold your hand like other games do. It's just kind of they drop you in, and it's like, hey, let's figure it out. Kind of basic. You have you move left to right. It's a side scroller. You have a jump button. You have the X Buster, which is Mega Man's arm, shoots what looks like lemons when it first starts, and you can also charge them into kind of a medium. And then when Mega Man turns yellow, like he does right there, you get kind of an upgraded shot there. Eventually, these will upgrade. There's armor upgrades and that you can find throughout the game, and kind of the staple of any Mega Man game is once you defeat a robot boss, or in this case a Maverick Hunter, you can kind of use their power. For example, there's a boss. The first boss will probably be taken into this. His name is Chill Penguin. From him, you gain the ability Shotgun Ice, meaning that you get an ice attack, and each different Maverick Hunter can serve as a weakness to a different boss in the game. So we'll see here, you kind of have the capability of a wall jump, kind of like Ninja Gaiden-esque throughout, which is good. And then, enemies range from anything that can die in 1 or 2 hits, and you have also things like, mini bosses, things like that. Let's explore this game audio a little bit. You guys can, let me know in the comment section, let me know in the chat if it's too loud, too low. In my ears, it's sounding okay, but that may not be the case on your end, so just kind of let me know. Oh, almost died there. That was not the most fun. Okay, so as we're moving through the level, the good news here is you can kind of, the game will kind of give you a little bit of a grace period there. This game, I think one thing Mega Man does really well is it kind of scales in difficulty pretty well. The first couple levels, depending on the order that you choose. It's good in Mega Man is it's not like a typical side scroller where it's, here's the next level and you go. Mega Man lets you kind of choose the order in which you approach the game until you get to kind of the later stages where you're fighting Sigma, who's one of the main, bad guys in the game here. Pretty simple here, kind of just, get to the end of the stage here, and then we will have our first boss fight coming here in a second. Okay. And at At this point, I'm not too worried about the amount of health that I'll have going into the boss battle, because this is actually designed for you not to win. In fact, I mean, I'd have to double check this. I don't even know if it's possible to win at this point here. So this is Vile. This is one of the kind of the secondary boss in command here. So Sigma, who's kind of the main bad guy, and you can see he has power armor there. And you can't actually die in this boss fight if you were to dodge those, yellow beams there that he traps you with. He can't actually kill you. So, right here, and then what's gonna happen? Boom! And then this is Zero, who, growing up, kind of I always thought he looked a lot cooler than X. He's got the red armor. He's got, he's got a stronger blast out of his cannon, things like that. But kind of the, basically Zero telling X that, he's designed to be a killing machine, and, we haven't reached our full power yet. So when he's talking about the abilities that our creator, Dr. Light, gave Mega Man X, that's the ability to kind of use the different bosses' powers and, make him stronger. There's a password screen there. We're actually playing this on the SNES Mini, so I'll actually be able to kind of save state my game a little bit moving forward. So here's kind of our hub screen, or our main screen here, and you can kind of choose which order you'd like to fight the bosses in. Something that I always thought was a little cool growing up, if you hit stage here, you'll get kind of a little background of what you see there as the stage, and then if you press map, it just kind of shows you where in the area of this world you are. So Chill Penguin here, kind of up in the north near the mountains there. You have Launch Octopus kind of out in the bay area off to the side. Armored Armadillo, who's in kind of the caverns. And all of their stages kind of reflect where they are on that map. I just thought that was kind of cool. We're going to start with Chill Penguin, probably because what this will do is give us access to our first armor upgrade, and kind of the easiest one, and the only one you really need to beat the game. I'm going to try to basically 100% run it. This game you do have to do a little bit of backtracking depending on the route you choose. I'll try to choose a route that doesn't have me backtracking too many times into levels. Although the good news is, when I pull up the pause screen here, I'll show you. So you see now I have my kind of inventory screen here. You have kind of X in the middle, in the bottom middle, kind of showing you his level of power. Your lives kind of down there off to the bottom right. Then you also have what's called the Escape U, and if you pick that, you can just kind of exit a level. So if I do have to backtrack at some points in the stage, I at least don't have to beat all of these stages over and over again. It'll just kind of allow me to exit right away, which is a nice feature. I mean, other games like Super Mario World, you can do that as well. Hitting Start Select in a level you've already beaten, it'll allow you to kind of instantly exit the level. So if you wanted to go into, for example, get a power-up, Fire Flower or something like that, it was something you were able to do. So, and you see the boss or Maverick boss kind of appropriate to the stage, right? You have, his name's Chill Penguin. It's kind of winter ice themed here. And these mechanical bats have been kind of a staple of the Mega Man franchise. And later in the game, I'll show you a spot where you can actually see one of the bats from, I think, Mega Man 3 is kind of where you can see it. But here, pretty standard, working our way right to left here. Here's where you really kind of, if you hadn't known before, this is kind of where you get used to the wall jumping aspect of the game to kind of help you climb up. And at the top of this little kind of stairwell area here that we're going to climb, we'll get our first upgrade here. And these are what your kind of armor upgrade kind of capsules look like. So you'll get this hologram of Dr. Light here, saying he gave you the ability to choose his own path, meaning like a robot with autonomy, not just programmed. So then, you'll get kind of some backstory here from Dr. Light, talking how he thought the world needed a new champion, and that would be X, and that he's hidden other capsules like this that can help them increase his power. So there's an armor upgrade, there's one, there's a cannon upgrade for X, things like that. So this is the acceleration system, or the boost or dash system. So after his exposition there, You step in, and so then the game kind of shows you that. You can map it to a button, or you can just tapping left or right on the directional pad. What this also allows is X can make, it increases his jump radius, which is really useful not only for traversing the level, but later on when we're trying to, obtain certain upgrades, whether that be an E-Tank or an armor upgrade. That's really what this will be useful. I do think that the Dash Boots is the only armor upgrade that is necessary for beating the game. So you don't have to get all of these. It's just, I think it's more fun and definitely makes other bosses easier to fight later on. I think my mic volume was a little high here, so let me bring that down a little bit. Okay, so this is, power armor similar to what the Vial had here. So you have a nice dash, you get kind of an air jump there. Kind of two paths you can go through here. Up top, I'm really not able to do much up there, so I'm kind of going to come down low for this one. You get kind of a fight here, and then you actually have to jump kind of out of your power armor there in order to get out of that spot. So moving along here, we are getting closer and closer to our fight with Chill Penguin here. Well, I think, if you go in what's called the weakness order, that most people refer to as weakness order, you can, Chill Penguin kind of leads you into Spark Mandrill's stage, but Chill Penguin's probably the easiest, one of the two easiest bosses just to beat Buster only. You're only using your X Buster here to beat him. So each kind of boss in this game has their own unique attack pattern. You'll see their kind of health bar out to the right-hand side. So Chill Penguin can attack straight on with kind of ice as he did there. You can put one on the floor. You'll also see him create these little ice penguin statues, and then he can control kind of gravity that kind of pulls you toward that far wall. And if you're touched by the ice, it'll freeze you just like you saw there. And then he'll actually kind of slide on his belly here in a second. And he'll actually break those statues, which should help me kind of, that'll allow me to come down and get some damage off here. So as you can see, I'm being kind of pulled towards whatever side of the screen he, pulls that gravity toward there, almost like a snowstorm doing that there. Okay, so that's Chill Penguin. Again, like I said, one of the easier bosses to beat, kind of just with your Buster here. So there's also a, many iterations of Mega Man X. The original X probably being one of my favorites, but there's also a game that was released kind of as part of the Mega Man X collection. Here's kind of gives you kind of a background of the new ability that you get here, Shotgun Ice. And you can cycle through those by using the L and R triggers or bumper buttons as you're in level here. So, in weakness order, the next one would be Spark Mandrill, which is this stage here, but I'm actually going to go to Storm Eagle's stage here, and we'll kind of get one of our next power-ups in this area here. So, just a little less backtracking throughout the game if we do this one first. Not terribly difficult to beat with just the Buster as well. So using his weakness is not. But like I was saying, Maverick Hunter X, I believe it's called, or it might just be called Maverick Hunter, was a game that it was kind of a re-release of Mega Man with, updated graphics, kind of like your PlayStation era graphics, and you could also play as Vial and I believe Zero, which is kind of a cool feature that they added to that game. So if you dash jump here, you'll get kind of our first health upgrade there, that little heart with the pink ribbon around it. I believe there's 5 of those throughout the game, and that will kind of increase our health meter here, and we'll be allowed to take more hits moving forward. So kind of happy I didn't screw that up and jump to my death there. So these enemies here, if they get really like right over the top of X, they'll actually grab him, and you'll be kind of stuck there. Oh, see? That's what they tried to do there. So if we come here, and the next thing we're going to do is we're going to ride this kind of elevator structure here. I should be able to, yep, shoot the window out here. And this will net us our first E-tank upgrade, or sub-tank upgrade. And what this does is, there it is there, and when I pause it, you'll be able to see it, sub-tanks down there in the left corner. What this does is when X is at full health, as you can see, you have different kind of enemies will drop different, you'll see kind of the little yellow gem looking structures that refills your health, and then the kind of the blue orb structures will refill the whatever weapon. So the Maverick weapons, as you see here in that top left corner, will kind of drain as you use them. So the blue orbs will refill your kind of weapon energy there. So now we're coming up on another armor upgrade here. Ooh, almost fell to my death there. I'm used to having dash map to the left trigger. I didn't do that in the options menu, so kind of getting used to double tapping the directional button there. Oh, didn't realize he had come back. Here. Let's see if I'm... Oh, no, it's up here. That's right. I was confused. So, we want to drop down here. And then we want to dash to get to that ledge there. Yep. And now you can actually shoot this out. This is a lot easier if you have Flame Mammoth's weapon. That goes down a lot faster. But what we'll see here is our second kind of capsule here. And this capsule contains a helmet enhancement. And this will allow us to break, you'll see here, these kind of blue and green blocks here. It'll allow you to break those with your head, and I believe as well as your feet. I think you can do it with your feet as well. But you'll see that, his sprite and avatar kind of changes there. And it shows you kind of the capability to break things here, your head. And this will be used later to get, I believe, a health bar upgrade as well as a sub-tank moving forward. So now we're going to go fight Storm Eagle here. There's an extra life up there, which I missed. I think I can get it if I'm careful here. Come. Yep. And those, like any game there, in most Super Nintendo era games, the main character's head is a 1X. So there, that blue orb, if you watch my shotgun ice, you'll see that it fills up there, which is good. You can also take out smaller enemies in one hit. And it will ricochet off of an enemy or off of a wall, and you'll get kind of that spread shot there. Oh, that's a good drop there. Another one up there. Hopefully I can do this and I won't die. So these platforms will actually fall if you wait too long on them. And again, keeping up with like the theme of each boss, he's Storm Eagle, so his is kind of an airship in the sky, things like that. And each boss will have this door here, letting you know that you're kind of about to begin the boss stage here. I have this little elevator, and his boss fight actually takes place outside here. So, hopefully I don't die here, but definitely possible. So his attack pattern, here's the, this is where you'll get kind of him, he'll kind of dive at you. It's kind of random how many times he'll do it, and he will create these wind currents in the floor that kind of push you back. You can die in this stage by falling off the side of the stage. And then sometimes there's his weapon, that's kind of what you get here from beating Storm Eagle. And he will, if we do see all his attack patterns here, he'll kind of drop like an egg-shaped structure. Here it comes. And if you let that hit the ground, it'll turn into kind of smaller birds, robot birds that will attack you. But with a nice charge shot, usually you can destroy it before they're able to spawn. You can just take out the egg and they won't spawn. So like I said, it's random. So the last few times he dove twice and that was it. So now you see he's kind of on his 6th and 7th dive here before coming back to the ground. But other than really him like running into the boss himself, he doesn't really do anything that hurts you. So, you know, you just have to make sure you're not allowing him to kind of blow you off the side of the stage there. And this should be it here. Yeah. So, oops, sorry about that. A round of applause there. And then there's kind of a fun secret at the end of the game, and I'll kind of get your guys' feedback on if you want me to use it or not. But there is kind of a power-up that you can get at the very end before doing the Sigma stages that kind of makes the kind of boss gauntlet that you have to run pretty insanely easy, in my opinion. So we'll, we'll kind of see if you guys want me to do that or not, or if you want me to just kind of beat it the normal way there. So I think the next one I want to do, I don't know if I want to do Boomer Quang or if I want to do, I think I want to do Flame Mammoth here. And you'll see the order in which you beat certain Maverick bosses here will impact the stages, which I always thought was a cool touch. So you'll actually get in Flame Mammoth stage, because we've beaten Chill Penguin already, normally you'd have a lot of fire at the base of the level, and now you can see there's kind of a layer of ice, and that's because we've beaten Chill Penguin already. So what that actually does, this would normally be running lava, and I wouldn't be able to run on the floor. So this allows me to kind of, it makes his stage a lot easier, and it also gives us access to power-ups we wouldn't be able to get had we not done Chill Penguin stage first, which is pretty cool. So we're going to kind of move through the, he's got kind of a factory stage here, which I always found kind of cool. I think the theming in this game does really well. The game's well-paced, so this is kind of a tough jump here, but I think this will give us our first power-up here. If I can hit the jump, it's kind of specific here. There we go. And you just have to kind of spam your jump button here. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that now. I might have to exit the level and come back in. I think I've now kind of handicapped myself here. Yeah, I'm going to have to do that. Well, that's unfortunate. That's right. You can't use it unless you've already beaten the level. So I may have to beat the boss and then come back in. Which, no problem. We can do that. Not a big deal. So let's do this here. And I'm going to go just along the floor here. And there's my second health upgrade here. So I'm going to come back this way. I'm actually going to go up and to the left here. So you saw how that refilled my life. Had my life been 100% full, it would have put health into my sub-tank. Now I will say, if you do want to use a sub-tank, you want to make sure that you're kind of low on health when you do, because no matter what level your health is, it will drain your entire reserve out of the sub-tank there. So I'm actually going to switch to Stormy here. So I'll get an extra life here, and then if I kind of jump off here, let me change back to the X-Buster here. There we go. That allowed me to kind of break that, and then there we have our second sub-tank there, which you'll see in the bottom left corner there. Alright, so now let me see if that if it's kind of respawned the blocks here. No, it hasn't. Couldn't remember if that was the case or not. So we will have to backtrack a little bit, which is okay. Kind of inevitable if we want to get all the power-ups here. Actually going to use this to kind of move my way through here. So that'll hit enemies multiple times as it goes through, which is a good kind of upgrade to have for this level here. Okay, dash through. So you want to watch yourself there, because that will fall and crush you there. Same thing here. There's a third one. And there you'll see there's kind of the remnants of what the stage would have looked like. The lava droplets there falling from the ceiling, keeping within his theme. But I wanted to have this one here. Alright. these guys, you can actually jump over them, and then using Storm Eagles makes it so much easier because you can get those multiple hits there. Yeah, but I think, if you guys are watching, we have a good episode of the podcast coming out tomorrow. We've kind of started our spooky season lineup here. And we'll be talking about, I believe tomorrow is Hocus Pocus, which, a movie that I remember quite well from my childhood. One of those ones, on a weekend I would pop in a game like Mega Man X, or I'd be playing the N64 or something like GoldenEye or Legend of Zelda. And then that would just be kind of one of those movies that I'd have on in the background, running. So, a lot of good memories from that movie there. And so there, if you do stay on the ground while he jumps, you'll kind of get stunned there. If you do have Boomer Kawanger's weapon, you can actually remove his trunk so that he's not able to do kind of the oil spill stuff there. Not a big deal if I stop getting hit. But what he's trying to do is get you stuck in that so that he can jump on you there. And as he raises his trunk, it will switch the way that the conveyor belt at the bottom of the level is moving. So every time that he does that, it'll switch the direction, but no biggie. Flame Mammoth is down, and now we'll kind of get his ability here. Check something here on my deck. Sorry about that, guys. Give me 1 second. Okay, perfect. Again, password screen. I'll kind of start to lead those, so if you guys want to try to, I guess, like play along at the level that I'm playing, if that's something you're interested in, if you have the game, should be able to do that no problem. There is, passwords that would have allowed me to kind of have all the armor upgrades and things like that, but, more fun to go through the game and kind of earn them myself. But this final kind of, the one that I'm going to let you guys, I'll show you guys either way what the power-up is, and then I'll kind of, if you guys want to, if you want me to use it or not, at the end, that's fine. But I'll kind of show it to you. But you do have to have all of the armor upgrades before kind of entering the Sigma stages there. So that is something that I'll be working on getting. Let's see if this time I can make this jump here. Oh my gosh. Wow. Holy moly. Harder than I remember, that's for sure. Alright, let's try one more time. If not, I'll beat another boss, and then we can always come back to it. But a pretty useful upgrade that I'm trying to get here. No spoilers. Ow. Another good thing about this game is just the soundtrack. I mean, I feel like Capcom in general, from Street Fighter to, Mega Man to, Final Fight, a bunch of games that they made, I feel like Capcom always did really well utilizing the N64, not just from a graphics and gameplay perspective, but from a sound perspective, or the N64, the Super Nintendo. Holy moly. I am really messing up here. Talking and playing, not really my forte. I'll take one more, because I really thought I had it there. Let me edit something on my stream deck here. Sorry guys, give me 1 second here. I am a PA by profession, which is a medical assistant, and I am on call. So let me make sure that this isn't a patient. Just give me 1 second here. Sorry about that. Almost done here, guys. I appreciate it. Sorry about that. That should be fine. Okay. Just want to make sure I'm not going to have to call this patient here if they're okay with kind of a text message that I'm going to send here. Give me 1 second. It should be. So. Yes. Okay, we're good. Sorry about that. All right, here we go. But yeah, I mean, just the what I was talking about, just the soundtrack in Mega Man is really good. I feel like all the stages have a good soundtrack, and then even back on the days of like the NES, like the Wily music and things like that, you have the iconic music from that, which is really good. I think Mega Man 2 or Mega Man 3 is where you really got that iconic entrance music really back. All right, let's not mess this up again, Trey. Oh, that's better. No, there we go. Third time is indeed the charm. So, this one here is really good. So this capsule contains the upgrade to the X-Buster, which if you don't get this in this stage, that's fine. They will give it to you later on in the game. And again, I won't kind of spoil that, but in one of the Sigma stages, there is the ability to get this. But what this allows is, you'll see here, they'll demo it, is you actually get a third charge to your X-Buster. But the real reason that, you know, I am going to utilize it is each of the Maverick ones, you get a secondary effect to that as well. So there's your secondary, and then that's the primary one. So this not only helps you with, you know, increased damage, things like that, but it also helps you reach other places in stages or reach upgrades, which we'll see here in a second. So now I think I'm going to do, are we going to do Spark Mandrill? No, I think I'm going to do Boomer Quanger here, actually, because this will give me an upgrade that will help me get other upgrades in throughout the game. His upgrade, his Maverick ability is kind of like a boomerang, and you can actually grab items and pull them toward you, kind of reminiscent of like using a boomerang in Legend of Zelda or something like that. So again, his stage music is great as well. Just kind of, you know, jamming out here as the long climb throughout this level. Ah. I always thought it was a cool touch. X changes colors depending on which like Maverick ability you're using. So he looks more like Chill Penguin's color palette with the yellow, the purple being more like Storm Eagle, and then the red Flame Mammoth, which, you know, I think that's a nice touch. If you do go in these laser things here, I'll show you. So if you go in the laser, those will actually come and shoot you there. So try to avoid that red laser. Pretty easy to time. And even if you don't, you can avoid them as long as you kind of don't stay in the same spot there. But not terribly difficult to avoid. So if you don't have a Maverick weapon equipped, when you pick up a kind of an orb to refill your energy, it will automatically fill the lowest Maverick weapon that you have. So, you know, it's not that they're not being wasted when you pick them up. Sometimes it's just more convenient to fill the one that you want to fill. So, for example, nothing equipped, I pick it up, and now my Flame Mammoth does have its energy refilled there, which is good. I mean, it's not that you're wasting them. So here, kind of the elevator ride from Hades here, you don't want to be caught. Better to take a hit from one of the enemies here than to be forced up against the spikes, because that will be a instant death there. You can kind of utilize iframes there, as you see, even if you jump like I did. Shoot. Alright. And I don't believe I got far enough in the stage to get a checkpoint. No. So I'm going to have to kind of make my descent back up here, which is okay. A lot of pressure when you're streaming. You die and, you know, nobody to laugh at you while you play on your own. I'm kidding. But you can if you want. That's not... In fact, it's probably encouraged by Matt and Tyler. But yeah, I mean, you know, this is something I want to try to do once a week. I mean, I may try to release episodes as VODs on our YouTube channel. That way, you know, if you did miss for whatever, if you can't hang out while we're streaming, I might try to stream Thursdays, maybe Fridays, Sundays, just depending on kind of my work schedule. You know, sometimes I am on call, so I'll try to stay as consistent as I can. But if I am on call and do have to run to the hospital or something like that, then, you know, I will always try to make it up for you wake it up to you and have another stream kind of on deck, or if I know that I'm going to be out of town or traveling, then I'll try to do 2 kind of the week prior, so you guys always kind of get something at least once a week, if not twice a week, is kind of what I've been. And then, you know, if you guys are really enjoying the content and you want to try to stream some more days, you know, hit that like button, let me know. I mean, if a stream gets, you know, 50, 100 likes and you guys kind of want to do a bonus stream, I, you know, have no issues about doing that. We'll kind of carve out a time. It may be me. I may want me to try to bring one of the guys on, you know, Tyler, Matt, talk about maybe one of their favorite games that either I play or they play, and you know, talk about just different aspects of the game, whether that be design of it, you know, music, what have you, and we can kind of go from there. So this is a fun section of the stage, you know, really having to utilize the wall jumping ability, things like that. And again, having some of these different Maverick abilities makes this much easier, like Chill Penguin, being able to just kind of one-shot those guys with either him or Storm Eagle makes it much easier. So you're not having to constantly jump and kind of take pot shots at an enemy. You just kind of shoot once. And then one thing I will say is a lot of times you do have to wait for the ability to leave the screen before you can fire another shot. So you can't just sit here and spam kind of Storm Eagle's ability here. You do have to kind of wait till it exits the screen. So normally you would have to backtrack in this level and use Boomer Kawanger's ability to actually get this hard tank here. But because I have Chill Penguin's ability, I can charge this, and you are able to kind of, you know, go through here, and you can actually jump there and bang. Now I won't have to backtrack to this stage, make it a little simpler to go through, and I don't believe, no, I can't get up there at this point. So now we'll kind of make the slow ascent up here. Okay. So in later installments of Mega Man X, something I thought was cool is you can actually play as Zero, which I thought was super cool. He has kind of what's called the X Saber, almost like, you know, being a big Star Wars fan as I grew up, it always made me feel like I was, you know, using a lightsabers there. Which, you know, Mega Man, way less frustrating than playing one of the Super Star Wars games on Super Nintendo. Those are notoriously, in my opinion, some of the hardest games would be those, you know, Star Wars games there. Okay, Boomer Kawanger maybe on this much health, I actually may take a death here, because he's, without his kind of weakness order item here, he is a little bit more difficult to defeat. I will do my best here, but he does pack a lot of damage here with his, and as you can see, he can kind of teleport, and there we go. So what I'll actually do here, rather than going through, is I will try to use kind of the upgraded some of my Maverick bosses here. They all do kind of a set damage, but as you use the appropriate weakness for a boss, they actually take increased damage and can actually hinder the boss in some way, which we'll actually see come into play a little later on as I'm fighting some of these bosses here. So as you saw there, one of his highest damage attacks you actually saw kind of at the end of my last death there. So he can actually dash forward and grab you. I am going to use one of my sub-tanks here. I'm going to use my smaller one there. As you can see, that did restore a little bit of my health, which will at least allow me to get through a few more attack patterns here. I am going to wait for him to, yep, there we go. He can actually dash forward and grab you and then throw you against the ceiling, and that deals just an insane amount of damage. And then, oh, almost didn't use it here. This should be enough, unless I really kind of fumble the bag here, like I'm doing, to get me the win here. See, that deals just an insane amount of damage. Probably about, I don't know, probably about a fifth of my life bar gone there off one attack. So, you know, really high. And his teleportation pattern, as he gets lower in health, gets more random. I am out of shotgun ice. That is why that's not working. Okay. I think Buster's going to be my best bet here, just because of how quickly I can attack using the Air Buster. I really don't want to get grabbed again because that would probably... So there we go. And you can see that charge shot. Sometimes you can actually get kind of multiple hits as that kind of that pink, that pink charge goes through. If their iframes actually wear off in time, you can actually get kind of a double hit there on the boss. So here we have Boomer Kuwanger's ability, the Boomerang Cutter. And I think that that's a cool color aesthetic on X there with kind of that turquoise color and then black. So there's so each password will net you kind of what you had upgrade-wise. So the boots, the helmet, the X cannon, as well as each boss that you've already defeated. So now I think I am going to actually go to Spark Mandrill. Yeah. And this is where you'll really see how the different weaknesses of the boss here. And I believe, another big shout out to another YouTuber that I've watched a lot of, Gerard Khalil, known on YouTube as the Completionist and one of the Super Beer Brothers. He actually coined a phrase for this boss called Spark Mandrill Syndrome. And because of just his insane weakness to Chill Penguin Shotgun Ice, which you'll kind of see here in a second. And because we've beaten, Storm Eagle stage, you'll actually see that sections of the stage here are broken because his airship has crashed into this stage, which I think actually negates a mini-boss, if I'm not mistaken. Let me make sure that I didn't miss I think there might be a health upgrade down here that I may have missed. Backtracking here. Yes. So now that we have the Boomerang Cutter, which is why I didn't want to... And the attack, the pattern's kind of random. It doesn't always go up or down. But just a few shots, try jumping, try doing it flat ground, and you should be able to get it within a few shots. Also, the good thing about his ability is as long as it doesn't get impeded by something like an enemy or, it doesn't go off screen, if you manage to catch it, you can see how how it doesn't drain the energy, which is nice. I mean, it's almost like a refillable, like infinite ammo almost for his ability. So now we're going to come back up here. And this, probably one of my favorite songs in the game, is Spark Mandrill's theme. So you have to be careful here, because if these kind of, light birds here, if they do hit you while you're over a gap, it will cause that. Kind of self-fulfilling prophecy there. It will cause that, and that will lead to instant death there. So you can see here, I'm actually happy I died, because I can show you this here is kind of the remnants of the shift from Storm Eagle stage there. How many lives do I have here? Okay, 2. There is actually a spot in Armored Armadillo stage where, if lives do become an issue, you can actually farm those, which is, it's nice. It's just a nice ability to have. I mean, especially going into like the later Sigma stages there. Me dying here was just kind of me trying to move too quickly. The game kind of punishing me for wanting to rush through instead of, taking my time, being methodical about it. Kind of a game that's notorious for that is Castlevania. They actually, I think the creators of the original NES Castlevania actually mapped out what it would look like if you tried to kind of run through the level, and they would actually kind of put enemies in that path and obstacles in that path so that it would punish you for trying to do that, which I think is pretty cool. It's a nice game design, kind of a way to, because back in days even like this, you didn't have save states and you couldn't release DLC, things like that. So, game developers really had to do anything they could to make their games last, so that you weren't just, beating it, give it some replayability factor to it, which is fun. But also another way to do that was a bad thing, is they would just kind of spike the difficulty, make games incredibly difficult, which, that's not necessarily a good thing. it's nice to have challenge in a game, but you know, not so much that it frustrates you. I remember when I was younger, the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game. Shout out to the Turtles there. Oh, nice. There's that life that I lost. That game is just super frustratingly hard. An infamous level they have there is that dam level. It's just dam as in Hoover Dam, not me cussing, but yeah, it's relentless. I mean, if you can do that deathless, that's a crazy feat of gaming there. All right. I'm gonna try not to take damage here. So enemies do respawn rather quickly. So you see if I leave the screen, pretty much every enemy that I just kind of fought there is back. So, you know, just be careful that if you are in a situation where you're kind of avoiding enemies in this game, you really don't trap yourself by generating more. Dang. Oh, that was productive. That enemy behind me didn't stand a chance though. I know I'm not talking a lot during this level, but I just kind of really taken in this theme song. Probably one of my favorite themes in the game. Alright. Yes. Shoot! Okay, and now you're probably the easiest boss in the game if you have already beaten Chill Penguin. Here's kind of his weakness, and you know you'll really see why Gerard is referred to it as Spark Mandrill syndrome, because it's just almost comical how easy this boss becomes. So one shot, and not only does it stop his attack pattern, but it kind of freezes him in his tracks there, and even the rebound will do it there. And if you time it right, you can kind of lock him down where, you can just keep cycling him here and he's kind of caught. Now, if you do it too early, he will get some iframes there that does allow him to break free. But, I mean, again, the only reason I took hits there at all was just because I allowed him to jump into the corner. But you can just keep kind of spamming that shotgun ice, and you can see it didn't even take half of my energy there to beat him. So definitely one of, if not the easiest boss in the game. I would probably say Chill Penguin, because if you don't have his ability, Spark Mandrill can be a little tough. And his stage is tougher if you haven't already beaten Storm Eagle. That's for sure. Then we have the password there. I'll leave it for a second in case, like I said, you guys are following along. And one of the reasons I did want Spark Mandrills is because that now allows us to go into Armored Armadillo, and that will really help us with his, because Spark Mandrills is kind of the weakness here for Armored Armadillo, and it makes the boss fight just substantially easier than if you don't have it. But we'll see here. This is kind of a fun level, kind of almost like a minecart looking thing. But I do want to jump off this here to show you that I think this is where we get the different style of bat here that you can see in kind of previous Mega Man games. Right here. And that's kind of the design. And, you can keep going off screen here, and if you come back, you do have to kill the ostrich again. But he'll kind of always drop something for you. Probably about 60-70% of the time, he's going to drop either health, a 1-up, or an energy upgrade. So a good place to farm if you want to fill your sub-tanks, or if you want to fill, here I'm going to get another extra life, which is great. But, a good place to kind of fill up on that stuff, so it's good. Go. And you can see, you get a kind of a wider range of weapons here as you go through, which, makes levels, not only levels, but just the bosses in general, makes them so much easier. So, my goal, I am going to drop down here behind this guy, because this will let us get, and because of how rapid this is, Flame Mammoths really allows us to kind of take this out no problem. I believe you can do it in time with the Buster if you charge up and then kind of spam your shots here. But the reason I wanted to kill him quickly is because I didn't want him to get to this point up here. Well, one up here, which you can break with your head. I wanted to fill my sub-tanks here. But the other thing would be... Or is that later on in the stage? Oh, I think there's a second one, and I'm a little early here. It'll allow me to get, I believe it's a health upgrade that I need to get to. So. See if I can get anything. Yep, that'll refill me. And those little guys with the helmets have been kind of a staple in Mega Man games. I think they appear in an even Cutman stage back in Mega Man 1 for the NES. Which I'm sure if my brother Travis is watching me right now, he's probably screaming at his screen, no, it's this stage. I think it's Cutman. But I think, I was saying, I think my goal for today's stream is to kind of get through the robot masters here, the first kind of initial waves of bosses, and then in the next stream or the next time we go live, we can kind of either start the Sigma stages, or I can show you kind of that the kind of secret power up that they kind of put in here. And then this is the one that I think I need to get behind. Yeah, this is it. So you really want to take care of this guy here. Oh no, there we go. Perfect. Now that I've taken care of him, this is what it will allow me to get to. So if I let him keep going, he would have knocked out a good portion of this wall, and I wouldn't be able to climb up here because it would just be too high out of reach. I'd have to backtrack and come back. So that allows me to get that health upgrade there, and you can see our health bar is getting up. It'll fill up about as much as a typical boss's, so that's good. You're almost kind of on an even footing there. Maybe not with the end boss Sigma, who has many forms, so he'll have a lot more health. But I think I did actually want to stay on that thing. Ah, that's okay. I don't think I need it. Oh no, I do need it, because in order to get to the other part of the level, you do have to stay on that kind of minecart there, because you need it to go over this big gap here, or else you'll just jump and fall and die. I was lucky there. So, you probably will take a few hits here just because the flying enemies and things like that may hit you, but if you just keep spamming your normal buster here, you should be able to take out most of the enemies. And if you jump up there, you can get a substantial amount of health to fill your sub-tanks, but I think I'm full. Yeah, I'm full. So we will be utilizing the Spark Mandrill that we just got here to help with Armor Armadillo, and you'll be able to see within the first few hits why this is so vital to fighting Armor Armadillo. Probably one of the harder bosses if you don't have his weakness, because you can see there how the armor actually comes off, and that his damage, the amount of damage he'll take now from different attacks is just so much higher. And even so, he killed me. But you can also damage him while he rolls, which you can't do if he has the armor. Once he's in that roll state, he gets kind of invincibility frames there, and you're unable to damage him then. Alright, time to kind of sit up in the chair, as they say, and get focused. So let's see, is he going to roll here? And usually those shots are in groups of 3, so if you drop down quick enough, you can get a shot in. Much easier to do if you create distance, because you don't have to jump off the wall. Alright, and that's Armored Armadillo, which will lead us into our next boss weakness, which will be Launch Octopus, I believe, who has a cool stage that also is affected by different stages that we've complete, and will affect later stages, which is pretty cool. Yeah, we're actually, like we're playing this on the SNES Mini today, which super cool, like retro console that they released. Has a lot of classic kind of NES games here. So, you know, if there's something on this that you guys want to see me play next, I mean, it has Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, we have Super Mario World, you have Kirby, you have Super Metroid, and then there's even longer form games, like we have like Super Mario RPG, Final Fantasy 3, I believe, is on here. Yeah, Final Fantasy 3, Secret of Mana, which is just one of the... that's just a crazy good RPG for its time. And then like Donkey Kong, the original Donkey Kong Country, things like that on here as well. So, yeah, just let me know. I mean, whatever you guys want to see after Mega Man X, I'm game to play. I know it wouldn't technically be considered nostalgic, but I didn't only have nostalgic consoles in the Playroom. I also had... I mean, there weren't many consoles that we didn't have. I think the Sega Saturn was, I think, the only one we didn't own. I know we rented it at Blockbuster, which is a super old statement to say, but I think that was one of the only consoles we did not own. And then, so a cool thing to say here about the physics of Mega Man, when you're underwater, your jump height is increased along with your jump distance, which we will utilize here in a little bit to get a power-up, which is cool. Hang on one second. I'm going to pause this real quick, guys. I think my wife is calling me here. Give me 1 second. Yeah, my apologies, guys. Alright, sorry about that. Needed my help lifting something there. So we're back now. Okay. Here we go. But yeah, the new Spider-Man game, Spider-Man 2, actually comes out for PS5 here in a few weeks, so I was thinking about doing a Let's Play of that. If you guys are, you know, interested in seeing that comment as well, let me know. Would love to kind of stream that content there. One thing I think is cool as well is they kind of make Flame Mammoth's power useless in this level, which makes sense, right? You're underwater, so having a flame power really wouldn't do too much for you there. I believe. No, I don't want to waste that, because that's what I'm going to be using here. No, don't waste that one. Shoot! So by knocking off the top of that submarine there, you do take away one of its attacks. You'll have kind of like a homing laser that shoots like little fish out at you, and by taking that off, you kind of negate the ability of it to do that attack. I didn't mean to do that. Shoot! I didn't even realize I was charging the ability there. So, you know, the tricky part about these little mini bosses here is the spike pit there. He actually pulls you in toward him there, like you can see kind of the current of the water. And he can pull you into those spikes, which does result in kind of an instant death there. Again, Storm Eagle's power, just because of, you know, its multiple hit capability, is really good there. So what you want to do here is you will have an ability to kind of use these here to jump off, and you actually want to go to the left. Shoot. So you actually want to go to the left here. You can kind of use these pillars here to get onto the ship, and by shooting this little like eye of the ship here, you can actually sink it, which will allow us to go to a new area of the level here. You'll see here it'll kind of fall through the floor, and this will lead us to the ability to get, I believe it's either an E-tank or a health upgrade. I'm not exactly sure which one. There we go. And you do have to fight a mini-boss here, kind of like a mechanical sea monster here, and you can only damage it by hitting it in either the head or the tail. And again, Storm Eagle's ability coming in clutch again, just that multi-hit can really kind of stack up and get it. Oh, I didn't dash as well as I wanted to there. Yeah. And then there's one of our health upgrades there, which is just really good to have. Good quality of life item there. And now I believe that's all we have to do here. I believe we can just move on to Blast Octopus now. There may be one more mini boss here. Yeah. I think we have one more of those kind of sea. And the good thing about Armadillos here, you get a little shield that you can use. It just takes away one hitbox though, so you know, not the most useful. There is actually a more useful Maverick item that you can use later on. Gives you kind of protection there. I think I got it. Actually, I did. The only bummer about killing him under the ground is now I can't get my health power up there. All right. I think I should be okay. Yeah, with 2 sub-tanks and his weakness, I should be fine. And I think, does the boomer cutter take off his arms? Am I thinking that correctly? It may be just enough damage does it, but I could have sworn it was the boomerang cutter that did that. I'm going to try the charge shot and see if that'll... Oh, or he's going to hit me out of it. Let's try this. No, I think it's just damage based then. You know, and a lot of times you can guess what their... oh, I didn't know he was invincible during that. Learn something new every day. A lot of times you can guess kind of what their power-up's going to be. Obviously him, it's going to be the missiles that he's shooting. Good thing about them is they have a honing quality to them. So really useful against the next boss, which is Sting Chameleon. He likes to utilize the ceiling, things like that. So being able to kind of keep moving while I'm able to attack him is a big plus there. It also would have been good for Boomer Quanger. If you want to do kind of the weakness, you know, the area of weakness, you could actually go, you know, Chill Penguin, then you could go Spark Mandrill, then you could do Armored Armadillo, you could do Storm Eagle kind of in there as well, then you could go to Flame Mammoth, then here, and then you could do Boomer Quanger, Sting Chameleon. We're going to go back to Sting Chameleon here. Oh, real quick, I actually do have to go to Chill Penguin, one of our upgrades I did leave in his stage now that we have Flame Mammoth's ability here. So let me do this one real quick. So you do need Flame Mammoth's ability to get this upgrade that I'm about to show you here, because you have to destroy like a, looks like a little snow dome, or like a, I would say an igloo, but it's not made out of ice. And the only way to do that is with Flame Mammoth's weapon. And you can see his Chill Penguin stage becomes just so much easier now that I have the ability to dash, which I didn't have during, you know, the first run through of the stage. You don't have that ability yet. So it's right after we get the, ow, right after we get hit. Oh no! Able to avoid disaster. Hey Google, stop playing. I said the word disaster and my Google Home was listening. Hey Google, stop listening. That's funny. Comment down below if that happens to you. No, I'm just kidding. So, you can destroy them with the power armor like that. That's what we have to destroy. Unfortunately, I can't get the power armor up here. The only other way to do that is by using Flame Mammoth's power. Boom. And then there's, I think, our last health upgrade there. I think that's the last one we get there. So, let me double check to make sure there's not anything in this one. And then, yeah, now we can exit the stage here. Again, password if you guys, want to play along from this point. And now we'll go to Sting Chameleon. And this stage is now affected because we have beaten Launch Octopus. You'll see there's area of the stages that are flooded, which we need to get our last armor upgrade as well as our last sub-tank, I believe. Yeah. You can see here, you can already see kind of some of the effects here. You have that little bit of flooding there, and that's because we've already beaten Launch Octopus. Oh, that was dumb. Luckily, I didn't get punished. Never punished. Wait, I actually think I need to go up here. Yeah. Now, I have not found a super good strategy for dealing with this mini-boss. Not getting grabbed and thrown into the wall is definitely one of the strategies that I would advise. But as far as a weakness to a specific a specific weapon, I haven't. I just find either the Buster or Storm Eagles to be good just because of its ability to hit him multiple times as I get grabbed again and thrown into the wall. But if you stay far enough away, you can just dash underneath when he charges you there and release a charged up shot there. And a few cycles of this, and he should be good to go. You can kind of bait him into doing the attack pattern that you want. So if you get a little closer, he'll attempt to grab you, whereas if you're farther away, he'll attempt to jump at you. So if you're worried about getting grabbed, or if you have really low health coming up here and you don't want to use the sub-tank, just kind of keep your distance from him. And, you can really dictate his attack pattern, which, again, takes a little longer, it's a little more methodical, but safer in the long run, much harder to get hit, things like that. I'm a little greedy here, try to get him to grab me again. So I might have, messed myself up there, yeah. So you got to be careful when he's close enough to just grab you, because then you want to utilize your wall jumping, kind of get out of range there. Ooh. I think Flame Mammoths will work really well as long as, like I said, you can avoid getting grabbed. Yeah. I don't know if that was the amount of damage or if it was just much more effective, but now we can get our final upgrade here. And this one, it contains the body armor, which is cool. You look, as you power up, you start to look a lot more like Zero, with the thicker foot pieces. You'll see the chest piece here that's really similar. Really color scheme and the helmet that's differentiating them. But that to me just looks super cool. I like the way that armor looks. I was going to say, what? And I think you can actually go down to this part of the level. Yeah. And now that we flooded it, that allows us to break these here. But I do need to break them all because I do need to utilize my platform here. There we go. So that you can dash and jump, and then our final health upgrade there. So I am missing a sub-tank. I'm trying to think of which boss I have kind of... Oh, I think I'm going to have to take a death here. I don't think there's any way to get back up. Oh, you can actually climb on this. I thought it was part of the background. I'm missing a sub-tank, which spoiler alert, I played this earlier and kind of mapped out where they were. I don't know which one I'm missing. Let me check my notes here. Did we get the one? We got the one in Flame Mammoth. We got the one in Storm Eagle. That's the one in the glass. Did I get the one in Armored Armadillo? Oh no, I think I missed one in Armored Armadillo stage. Yeah, I got the health upgrade, but I didn't get the... Okay, so that's where we have to go back to get that. Not a problem. At least now I know which one it is. Ow. Super cool enemy design here. Really reminds me of... got Ninja Turtles on the brain, but the guys from Dimension X, like Krang's minions there, who were made out of stone. I always thought those were cool enemies there, like in the cartoon and stuff like that, or in Turtles in Time. I thought they were always cool enemies there. Okay, we have another one-up. What did you guys always call one-ups growing up? I heard one-up, I heard free man, I heard extra life. I kind of flop back and forth between extra life and one-up. Free play is one that you used to see in the arcade, but I think that's pretty specific to arcade games. I don't know if I've ever heard anybody actually say, you know, free play when referring to getting a one-up or an extra life in a game. And then what did you call, like, stages? Like, I'd call these either stages or levels. I've heard boards is one that I've heard. I may call it that in something like Mario Party, but, you know, I always use boards for, like, a board game, something like that. But just interested to see kind of what you called it, if you had different names for it. All right, I'm kind of getting toward the end here. So I think... I actually think I'm going to utilize more Boomer Quanger at the beginning, and then we can... This isn't as effective as I remember. We can go to Launch Octopus here. Just to... Again, you want to stay mobile, and you want to avoid the ceiling, because there are spikes on that ceiling that can hurt you there. Yeah, it is Boomer Quangers that really gets in there. And that's the big one. Stopping that attack is huge because, you know, you can get hit multiple times by those spikes, and just being able to kind of get him out of that rhythm is really good. And you can kind of lock him into an attack pattern sometimes where, you know, he just keeps attempting it. And even if you take a hit, you're going to kill him so much faster that it really doesn't matter. But you can see here, if I didn't have this, those spikes would really be a problem. Boom. And that is all of our Maverick bosses down, but to kind of end off here, I will backtrack into Armored Armadillo stage there and get that E-Tank that I missed before we kind of finish up for the night. Alright, and then in, got the password there. And then Sting Chameleon's ability is super cool because it does give you... Oh yeah, here you do get a cutscene with Zero because now that you've... you know, beating the different bosses kind of gave you clues as to where Sigma's fortress was, so now you're kind of able to find that there. And now he wants to... and that's Sigma there in the middle, your main antagonist there. But you do have the ability to go back into any of the other levels. It doesn't really lock you in to doing one thing, which is a good touch. So we'll go into Armored Armadillo here. Was it Armored Armadillo? Yes. And there's our Mega Man 3 bat friend there. Let's see if he'll give me an extra life here. Yep. And again, if you're ever getting low on lives, which I may need to do if once I show you guys that kind of secret upgrade that I'm going to show you guys in the next stream here. I actually may need to farm him because you actually do have to take a death a certain amount of times to unlock it. So, you know, kind of necessary there. So I think this is the one I missed here. The one I want to do here is get behind him. I think if I, yep, and there we are. There's the last sub-tank there. Now we can kind of exit the level here. And kind of our final password for the night. But yeah, that's kind of our intro to Mega Man X. I mean, next time we'll kind of go to the Sigma Fortress next time. You kind of get a repeat of some of the Maverick Hunter bosses, and you get to fight those again. But yeah, guys, if you enjoy this type of content, again, let me know what you guys want me to play next. Kind of subscribe to the channel. We'll be going live at least once a week. I may try to go once during the week and then once on the weekend, maybe like a Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening. But yeah, no, I've had a lot of fun, and you know, thanks you guys for listening, and we'll see you next time. All right, we'll see you guys later.